Imagine stepping off your porch, kicking a mound of dirt, and seeing the unmistakable gleam of buried gold. In reality, the legal concept of finders keepers does not exist. The moment you unearth a fortune, you become the primary target for the IRS, foreign governments, and former friends looking for their cut. Before we look at how to survive that gauntlet, let me know down in the comments, what city are you watching from today? And be honest, if you pulled a chest of gold out of your own backyard, would you actually call the police? Type yes or no below. Pulling the treasure from the earth is the easy part. To understand the true price of keeping it, we have to look at history's 5 most valuable discoveries and the brutal toll they took on the people who found them. In 2009, an unemployed man in England named Terry Herbert strapped on a cheap metal detector and started walking across a farmer's freshly plowed field. He walked away with 4,600 individual pieces of 7th century Anglo-Saxon military equipment, a staggering hoard purchased by local museums for $4.3 million. Under British law, Herbert and the landowner, Fred Johnson, split the money right down the middle. Almost immediately, the two men accused each other of greed, took their grievances to the local press, and permanently severed their relationship. Could you split millions of dollars 50-50 with a friend without letting greed take over? Let me know yes or no. A sudden influx of massive wealth creates a hard wedge between people. What begins as an incredible stroke of luck reliably dissolves everyday relationships into bitter rivalries. A much different approach played out in California in 2013, when a married couple took their dog for a walk on their rural property and noticed a rusted can poking out of the dirt. Inside were over 1,400 pristine gold coins. This chart shows exactly why this find was so staggering. The face value of those 19th century coins combined to just under $28,000. But because they were completely uncirculated and exceptionally rare, professional appraisers valued the collection at $10 million. To protect their haul, the couple adopted a strategy of absolute silence. They engaged a private numismatic firm to handle the assessment, and to this day they have refused to reveal their real names or the precise location of their property. By entirely erasing their identities from the narrative, they shielded themselves from the lawsuits, trespassers, and tax headaches that inevitably follow a highly publicized treasure hunt. When the stakes move from private backyards to international waters, the risks escalate. In 1988, engineer Tommy Thompson used custom-built deep-sea robotics to locate the SS Central America, resting 7,200 feet deep with 3 tons of commercial gold. Thompson recovered the bullion, but decided to cut out the investors who funded his expedition. He sold $52 million worth of the gold in secret and went on the run. He managed to evade the law for years before U.S. Marshals finally tracked him to a Florida hotel room in 2015, resulting in a federal prison sentence. Today, Thompson remains locked in a standoff. He refuses to disclose the location of the final 500 gold coins from the wreck, and a federal judge refuses to let him out until he does. Would you be willing to sit in a federal prison cell to protect a $50 million secret? Vote yes or no in the comments. When you try to outmaneuver your financial backers and the federal court system, a historic maritime triumph becomes a one-way ticket to a permanent prison sentence. Even corporate entities with massive legal budgets struggle to keep what they find. In 2007, Odyssey Marine Exploration pulled 17 tons of silver coins from the Atlantic Ocean floor, a $500 million haul they codenamed the Black Swan. The recovered coins carried very specific markings, tying them back to colonial South American mints, and a Spanish frigate named the Nuestra Señora de las Mercedes. Spain used these exact stamps to legally classify the wreck as a sovereign military vessel. Under international law, warships remain the property of their flag nation, no matter how long they have been resting on the seabed. Spanish authorities intercepted Odyssey's salvage operations. The ensuing legal battle ended with a U.S. federal court ordering the corporation to load the entire $500 million treasure onto Spanish military planes and send it back to Madrid. Do you think modern governments should still have ownership rights over 200-year-old shipwrecks? Tell me yes or no. International maritime law consistently favors the cultural heritage claims of nation-states, leaving commercial explorers to absorb millions of dollars in retrieval costs with zero financial return. There is one man who managed to beat the state, but it cost him decades of his life. Mel Fisher spent 16 years waking up every morning to search the Florida Keys for the wreck of the 1622 Spanish galleon, the Atocha. His team scoured miles of empty sand, occasionally turning up a scattered artifact or a rusted bronze cannon to confirm they were on the right trail. The ocean exacted a severe toll. In 1975, Fisher's oldest son, Dirk, his daughter-in-law, Angel, and a diver drowned when their salvage boat capsized due to a bilge pump failure. A decade after burying his son, Fisher's crew finally hit the main cargo hold. Divers descended onto what looked like a natural reef, only to realize they were swimming over thousands of blackened silver bars. Alongside the 40 tons of silver were thousands of Colombian emeralds, raw gold chains, and intricately crafted jewelry meant for the Spanish crown. The state of Florida immediately claimed a 25% stake in the discovery. Fisher fought them in court for 8 years, taking the case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, where he finally won sole ownership of his life's work. Could you dedicate 16 long years of your life to searching the ocean floor without ever quitting? Type yes or no. Fisher's victory proves that securing history's most valuable treasures demands surviving profound personal tragedy and possessing the endurance to outlast the highest courts in the land. If you ever find yourself staring down a billion-dollar discovery, you only have 2 viable paths. You can erase your identity entirely, like the Saddle Ridge couple, or you can brace yourself for a decades-long legal and personal war like Mel Fisher. There are still thousands of lost galleons, buried hoards, and missing artifacts out there waiting for someone to trip over them. Do you think you have the kind of luck required to make a discovery like that? Let me know yes or no down below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to share this video and subscribe to the channel. Then click the link on your screen right now to join us as we explore the world's most heavily guarded vaults.